Do you ever get pretty sad and not want to record your podcast? Well, if you do, then you're in good company. Today we'll be taking a closer look at the nuances of everyday interactions that make up the monotony of life. Let's have 2 sips of a Pepsi Max and then uncontrollably burp for the next hour. Grab your knitting needles and a blanket because it's time for 2 friends, to sit around and sew a new patch into their quilt of friendship. So join me, Christian, under the covers with Josh.
Welcome to Patchwork. And welcome to Christian.
Thank you, Josh. So we're here. It's a Monday night, and obviously Dion's still away.
Yep.
We've been churning out these guest episodes, and it's been good. It's been a challenge. We've enjoyed it. But I think you just get to a point in the year where you're ready to give up.
I think there's a lot of logistics to the guest episodes as well.
Yep.
That make it much more difficult to coordinate and put together.
Yes.
And we're both very busy at the moment.
Yep.
And it's been tough.
For someone choosing this as their first episode of Welcome to Patchwork, just
Turn around.
This is the wrong episode for you.
We're billing this as the depression sessions.
I thought
Maybe we've got sad because it's so cold and wet.
Well, that's it. It's the time of the year. Can I just preface it by saying I wanted to call this, frankly, Mr. Chatley, because it was a frank chat,
Yes.
and we're going to open with this. Frankly, Mr. Chatley.
That's it. Well, you got to do it anyway.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's the time of the year because you're halfway through, and it forces you to reflect. You go, great. Another half. Another half of this shit.
But I woke up the other day and I opened my blinds and it was sunny and not light outside. And I think I legitimately went up and I smiled as I got out of bed for the first time in months. I was like, it's coming back. We're coming back.
But I feel like when I see you happy, I'm like, he's really experiencing that happiness. You experience lows and you experience highs.
Where do you just float in the middle?
I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I feel nothing.
But that's nice that you saw the sun. And I guess I had a moment on Sunday where I was in the garden doing weeding and I felt a bit of sun on my face. I was like, that's kind of nice.
Oh, God.
That's nice.
That's kind of nice.
But that's something to look forward to. I think it's the fact that it's dark when you wake up and it's dark when you get home.
Yeah, that's a killer.
Yeah.
But just to have some nice sunny days recently, it just feels like we're on the other side of winter now. We're starting to creep out.
This is the depression sessions.
Yes, it is.
What's with the hope?
Just setting the scene, because you're right. We're in this space right now, but there is a brighter side on the other side.
The other thing, just to keep on track with the depression, is on the weekend, you and I went to a costume party. That was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And
then you rue. Well, you don't rue, but you live with the exhaustion from getting home late. But that costume party had a 70s theme.
Yes.
And I decided to shave a handlebar mustache and big, chops, sideburn chops, whatever.
Great.
But it did mean that I shaved parts of my face, which meant I can't have a handlebar in public. I'm going to have to shave the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
And now when I look in the mirror, I just look like a
it?
little boy.
No, you don't.
And now I'm going to look like a little boy. I got to look like a little boy for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
My beard grows back.
You're fine. That's fine.
Right.
You'll be right.
You tell me something that's depressing you.
Well, no, because what I was going to say, what was I going to say about the party? Oh, yeah, I had the worst run leading into that party.
Right.
So
this is the stuff that I want to hear.
So I was DJing that night and I was like, I'll get some more 70s tracks for the party. I already have a lot, but I'll just get a few more to round out the catalog, right?
Yep.
So, I don't know, 6:30 or something. I wanted to leave about 7:30, get there around 8. Started to do some stuff with the music. We did some playlists and all this kind of stuff, putting stuff together. Download some more songs, and then something corrupted and record box wouldn't open, and I was like, great. And then luckily, drunken Josh from the night before when I got home and was DJing did a backup at 3 a.m. in the morning. I was like, good one, Joshy.
Isn't that great?
It was great because I'd learnt my lesson because ages ago I'd lost everything.
I remember that. You were dark. Let's talk about that. You were dark for days.
Oh, so bad. Anyway, so some of the music got corrupted. Recordbox wouldn't launch. I was like, okay, well, I got to roll back this database. And then I was trying to do it on my desktop. And then like the SSD that I have on my music on, I must have unplugged it too early or something.
Yep.
And then that wasn't reading. And so I had to like, it was like 2 hours of just like everything going wrong, redoing the same stuff over and over again, putting these plays together, it not saving, me having to roll the backup. And I was just like, oh, this sucks. And then I was wearing like my dad's old 70s suit, which is very tight fit. Used to fit me a lot better in my 20s. There's some depressing things for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit me as well anymore.
Josh,
it's tough.
Welcome to the real world. There are clothes from a year ago that don't fit me anymore. I thought, because I know that, because you've worn it before at festivals, and I thought to myself, I'm like, Josh has got a ready-made costume.
Yes.
And I thought, I wonder whether that still fits him. The fact that you could even do it up is amazing.
Well, you say that. I couldn't really do it up. I couldn't sit down. That's like I had to hoist it very high over my hips, which is where it's meant to sit. But there's one button hanging on for dear life on those things. I was like, if I sit down too quickly, it's all going to go. So anyway, I'm in the midst of stuffing around with all this music stuff. I sit down with my legs display. I spin in my chair and just hear a right up the crack. The whole pants split. And I was just sitting there in the midst of this hell of all this stuff going wrong. I just went, great. I was really looking forward to tonight, and it's all come crashing down. But I sort of tried to catch myself and be like, it's almost comical at this point.
Yes. Okay.
Like, I can't, it's like, at least it wasn't the whole front and I couldn't wear the pants. Because I literally just went, I think it's right under the bottom, and no one would be able to tell.
Did you think at that point in time, I'll get a safety clip?
No, I don't know. I was just like...
A bulldog clip just... holding the ass together.
I don't know if the pants were completely gone and I couldn't wear them that night, that would have been really, really, really annoying.
Yes.
But it was just all the stuff that was going wrong. I was like, I can't believe this is all happening right as so I was like 2 hours of stuffing around with all this stuff.
Yeah.
Eventually got it together and got there and had a great time. But it was just, I had to remind myself of that, of like, you're about to go to a party, see a bunch of your friends. It's going to be really fun. It sucks right now.
So let's say that you didn't have that, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, right? Of seeing your friends, having a great night, DJing, things that you absolutely love doing. Let's say that string of unfortunate events, series of unfortunate events, happened to you, Lemony Snickets. Is it Lemony Snickets?
I only saw the Jim Carrey movie.
Is it Lemony Snickers?
I think it's Lemony. Snickers is very lemony. Very sour.
It's unfortunate. If that had happened to you during the day, how do you self-soothe when you get home? Because you've gone, that happened. Like something happened to me last week at work where it was incredibly embarrassing and I had to more or less apologize. Not apologize, I just put one particular person...
I pretended to apologize. It was very hollow.
No, I had to tell lots of people that I'd made this mistake because it would impact on something.
Okay.
And that was demoralizing, having to do that all day.
Ugh.
And so my question to you, how do you self-soothe when you get home from a day like that?
I think I've been getting into coziness a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've got a little heated blanket, and often when I feel like, I'm like, I'm just going to get under that on my bed and put on some YouTube of a streamer I like who plays a game called Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
He's got a very deep voice and he just talks. And it's just like, it's almost meditative.
Are you awake?
Yeah.
You kind of
But I could easily fall asleep to it. So they run about, I don't know, maybe an hour and a half for each run. And so I just put that on and it's very comfortable. And he literally talks about it on the stream. He's like, it's a cozy stream. Oh. He reckons to the cozy, when you sub as a subscriber, he's like, welcome to the cozy sub club. And I go, I'm a member of the cozy sub club.
Are you a member of the cozy sub club?
It's just nice. I don't know what it is about it, but I feel I'm putting that on so much now just to feel
something.
It just like guides me through when I'm not, I was like, cool, I can kind of switch off here. You know what? It's that thing of it's got enough attention that it will distract my brain.
So it's got something that you like watching, so you're engaged, but you're numb.
Yeah.
And warm.
But the warmness is key. I always fall asleep when I'm that warm. And also, it's a little bit educational. So there you go. You got that as well. That's nice.
Oh, okay. So you're still... what you need is warmth.
Mm-hmm.
You need a sense of numbing.
Yep.
But you still want to be stimulated in some way.
I think so. Where it feels it feels like I'm getting, it's not like entirely wasted entertainment.
Yes.
I feel like I'm getting a little bit something from it.
Yeah. I think I thought we'd maybe have different. Maybe it's the same for everyone, right? This idea of just put yourself under a big blanket and hide.
Weighted blanket.
Ugh, I'd love to buy a weighted blanket,
Yeah.
but I'm worried about. I read something about if you sleep with it, that it could crush you. But I'm not sure
How
it's
heavy's your
explicitly-
blanket?
I think
He's
that's
got 7 of them on. Take them off.
I'm not sure it's as explicit as it'll crush you, but it
Doing a
can,
cleated jerk.
yeah.
With weighted blankets.
See, in the Olympics.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just got some dangers. I need to look into it more. But I would like to get one. But I think, yeah, it is about being under something, being warm, and just switching your mind off. Like, that's why,
Yeah.
I think ASMR for me is fantastic.
Yeah.
Because I really love, there's a guy that does this thing called setting and breaking the pattern.
Great.
And what it is, I'll give you a little taste now. It's like he'll come up with a little pattern that's like this. He'll be like, and then he'll do that for like a minute. And then eventually, without you knowing, he'll just go. And that for me is great.
That's it.
Yeah, that's heaps.
What's your latest cozy ASMR? That kind of stuff.
So that guy is a guy called Raffy Taffy.
Yeah,
I really
Raffy
like
Taffy.
him. And there's another dude called Massage ASMR.
Oh.
But I don't like his massage videos.
Okay.
He does some of those singing bowls.
Because the ones I'm into now is like medical examination, like neurological
the
exams.
cranial exams.
It's so weird
Mate,
how that...
You're into ASMR from like 5 years ago.
But it's really weird how somehow that has become a thing. And then the people producing the videos end up knowing that and being like, cool, I can make money off this.
But it's weird that we all gravitate to it.
I don't get it. Turkish barbers, neurological exams. What's going on?
There's another guy that I really like. I can't think of his name. He kind of looks like Fred's Voice. It's his YouTube channel. But I like he has a realistic barbershop experience. But he actually shaves. He puts shaving cream
microphone?
on and shaves the microphone. Yeah, it's great. Sounds really nice.
He's got the smoothest microphones in the biz.
Anyway, that. And then with some food and warmth, I get it. That's the self-soothing that we need. But what were they like? I don't understand. Is this introduced to humanity now, the need for self-soothing? Or, 2,000 years ago, were people like, I just need to get away. I just need to get under this big sheet of leaves.
Yeah, I don't know. Because surely people still got depressed back then and didn't feel great.
Yeah.
But maybe they didn't overanalyze it the way we do these days. Maybe they're just like, wow, I live in a dirt. I live in the dirt.
I live in a dirt. You're lucky you've got a dirt.
Some of us don't live in a dirt. But yeah, because I was thinking about, in those moments, I think a lot of it is about occupying your mind in a way so you don't ruminate too much. Because I found that the rumination without action is terrible.
Yes.
Because all it does is run you into a hole. So I have this weird, it's hard to strike that balance for me of like thinking on the thing that's wrong at the moment or hurting you or whatever it might be.
Yep.
And getting sucked into that, but also dealing with it and not feeling like you're ignoring it. Because sometimes I'm like, it's okay to not think about this and to just get under the weighted blanket and crush yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you just got to make the time to deal with it. Maybe when you're not feeling as bad or you're feeling a bit more lucid, maybe.
Well, it's hard because, the rumination, like you just lapse into it, right? It's just happening. All of a sudden it's just happening
worst,
and you go, wow, oh man. Last night, because I'm staying at my mum's to watch the house while she's away and also look after the cat. And last night, it was like the first time I've slept solo for a very long time. And I lay in bed for 3-4 hours. And I was like, great, this is it. You're just thinking.
What's wrong with you? Go to sleep.
Yeah. But it's hard to stop. It's hard to stop the rumination. It's hard to catch yourself doing it. But also, there's a part of me that's like, well, you just got to stop. You got to distract yourself. But where is the balance of like a healthy level of thinking versus overthinking?
Yeah, and I don't necessarily know, but it made me realize I've had such a good hot streak for my mental health lately. because I'm feeling bad again. I was like, wow, it's been ages since I felt like this.
That's true. Can I say
Yeah.
from an objective, my subjective experience of your mental health is that you have been on a hot streak.
It's been great.
Yeah.
It's been real good.
My therapist said something really nice, something to remember. Because I was like, I need tools. Give me tools.
Yes.
And he's like, if you want tools, you're in the wrong place. Like my biggest thing is like sitting with the grey and sitting with just the knowledge that, hey,
Life's not perfect.
life's not perfect.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just accept it the way it is.
Sometimes your pants split right up the ass before you're off to a party.
Oh, yeah.
The mental pants
Yeah.
of your brain split.
Got a bull clip everywhere across my brain. But he said, in those moments, if you need a tool, instead of going straight to the thinking, just take a beat and be like, cool, what I'm going to do right now is, it might seem obvious for some people, is just start with, I'm going to check in with my body. What's my body doing right now? Do I have an elevated heart rate? Am I fidgeting? Just think about that for a second. Once you've thought about what your body's doing, then reflect on, well, what am I actually feeling? Am I panicked right now? Am I feeling sad? Am I grieving? Whatever it is. Only after you've done that and felt like you can answer both those questions, then get to the thinking, but from a point of reflection rather than reaction. So try to reflect on why you experience those first two things. That as a tool is quite nice.
Well, because I had that recently where, you know, when you're just feeling a bit off and you're like, I'm feeling off. I don't know what it is. I'm feeling off. And I was like, what is this feeling? I was like, what is going on? And sometimes it's so hard to work out what that is, but you know it's not right and you know it's different.
Yes.
It's like, what is this? Because I was like, there was one, and I felt a bit anxious, and it's like, I haven't felt like this for ages. Like, what is causing me this? And I couldn't quite work it out. It's really confusing sometimes.
Yeah, so in those moments, again, do you just go for self-soothing, or do you communicate to the people around you to say, hey, I don't exactly know what I'm experiencing, but I'm feeling something?
Yeah, I think I'm getting better at communicating that with my partner. But I think as well, I think it's big strides to just even think in those terms, to be like, I'm feeling off. Something's going on.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure what it is. And then you're trying to pinpoint, you know, maybe I've been working too much lately and all this, got a few other things like that. And I think it's definitely good to be in a space where I can identify that and think about that. Even if I might not have the answer, I think asking the question goes a long, long way to being like, this is temporary. There's things that cause. That's the big thing for me. I'm like, it's always just the way I've come up and down out of stuff over the years. It's like, it's always temporary. There's always things you can do. And I've always found that those challenges in my life.
But that's a huge shift. What you've just said there is such a big shift.
What do you mean?
Because being able to think that in the moment takes the like emotional gravitas away from the feeling.
Yeah.
As opposed to it being like, this is it. This is all there is.
Yeah. But being like, and generally for me, it's always been there's stuff going on in my life at that time that is causing these feelings.
Yeah.
So to try and think about that, to be like, well, what's going on right now that's different? How do you get back to a space where you're feeling okay? What are the things that have changed potentially? And sometimes it's out of your control and you're like, there's just so much going on and you do your best and then you just fall in a heap and take 2 days off work.
Yeah. Which is, again, I've all credit to my boss. She has fostered a workplace where saying, hey, I need a mental health day is A-okay.
Yeah.
Which is so nice to be able to say, I don't understand what's going on, but today I need a bit of a break. But you mentioned before that you're getting better at communicating with your partner. I think that is one of the most difficult things that I've had to like confront in my 30s is learning how to communicate with a partner, with friends, like to actually say, here's what I've identified what I'm feeling and here's me communicating.
But also for me, it's like, well, what do you need? And that's what my partner struggles with, which is like, I don't know what you need. And like, I'm like, I need to be alone and locked in a room. Like,
but that's okay.
what I need. Yeah.
I think it's obviously when it becomes like that in perpetuity. Like, I just need to be away for the next week.
Yeah, that doesn't seem as healthy.
No, that's not healthy. Josh, you haven't eaten in 7 days.
We've cracked the code. Locking yourself in a room for 7 days is not healthy.
That's a rule.
Just to go back, we were talking about sleeping before. I really wish I wish we had like some sort of photographic memory that you could be, because you always remember like, I couldn't get to sleep last night, but there was a moment you did.
Yeah.
I'm like, what happened in my brain that was going, and then it went, nah, it's really done.
So what I've started to do in bed to help me sleep, and I don't have that, well, despite what I said before, I don't have that big an issue falling asleep. What I've tried to do is the moment I get into bed, I'll like plan something or try to like
a heist.
Yeah.
Like Ocean's 11.
Yeah, exactly. I'll think through something like go to woe. So I'll be like, yeah, so if I went to the hairdresser, but then they had that basin, so you'd get like shampoo, you'd get conditioner. I just try to think through something, right? Stop my mind from thinking about the idea of getting to sleep. Because if you're in that position, in bed, warm, and you're just thinking of some la land thing, you will eventually.
Well, that's like there's those story time things that are stories that go nowhere. And I think Stephen Fry reads a lot of them. But it's stuff like a lavender field with a cottage or something. And it's like nothing happens in this story that occupies your mind too much. It's just kind of things are happening a bit.
Let's do one. Let's find time to record a 10-minute, 15-minute sleep audiobook.
Yeah, we could do that.
The waves crash gently. I don't know why I'm using a different voice. I have to keep that up.
Yeah, I know, because then that will wake people up. They're like, hang on, his voice just changed. What's going on? I thought it was going to be soothing and nice. It's not at all.
Is that a pirate? Yeah, I feel privileged to be able to go to sleep relatively quickly because so many people struggle with that.
I think that's
torturous.
Yeah, what's good for me, well, not good for me, but I end up staying up to a point where I'm exhausted and super tired. So when I do just go to bed, I just crash out. So when I go to bed, quote unquote, early, like, I don't know, 11 or 12 o'clock, it's like, cool, I'm not super exhausted tired and I'll lay in my bed for longer. But if I'm like dead tired, and maybe that's why I do it, because I'm like, when you're really, really tired, you will just get in that bed and go straight to sleep.
But what do you do the moment you get in bed?
I'm trying not to be on my phone, but I still often get it out. You're like, man, get it off.
Yeah.
It's so... I don't know if
aren't we? We are broken.
I don't know if we talked about this in the pod. The way that Reels, Shorts, TikToks, the way that endless content exists now, I hate it so much, and I know I get sucked in, and I know I do it, and I do love watching wrestling clips from the 2000s, from the Attitude Era. Yeah. I love watching those, and all these wrestlers on these podcasts now telling these stories about these matches I remember, and it keeps feeding me it, and I go, yes, please, another. And it's so frustrating to be sucked into something that you know is not good for you, you know is bad, but you can't. There's some of the tools, like I've tried setting the timers and stuff.
Doesn't work. Bypass.
I go... Yeah, because YouTube's like, take a break. I was like, nope.
Shut up, YouTube.
I know I told you to tell me this every 10 minutes, but nope.
Wait, you can do that in YouTube?
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I need that.
Yeah,
I need that big time.
But because I'm YouTube Shorts at the moment.
Yeah, me too. And I made a conscious effort to delete Instagram, delete Facebook, all of the crap. I had TikTok for a little while, deleted that, got that right off.
Yeah.
But I'm on TikTok via YouTube Shorts. It's mostly just TikToks that are uploaded. So I get the same crap. Do you know what? I was obsessed with this couple. And when I say that I'm obsessed, I would watch the same video over and over again of this. They were dancing to a German song called Abracadabra.
I know that clip.
But it's like I think one of them's Aussie, one of them's a German.
Yeah, go on.
And they just dance to it. And I don't know why I liked it so much.
You know what's weird?
And I'm not sure that I even liked it.
No, well, you know what's weird and freaky about it is there's this weird parasocial relationship where sometimes it shows the comments that people have left and it's like, oh my God, I love the way John always struggles with the bit here. I was like, you don't know these people. It's not your best mate doing a dance, showing it to you. But there's this weird relation. I don't really have that with anyone, which I'm glad to. I don't bother commenting on stuff. I think that's a good space to be in.
Well, for those of you who like to comment on our stuff, it is appreciated. And we are your friends. But I understand. Yeah, I don't think I have commented on YouTube videos before. And it was a guy making a old Calabrian recipe. And I was just like, it had like 200 views. And I was like, hey, mate, thanks. This is exactly how my nonna used to make it. I really appreciate that I can find this somewhere.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
That's a really lovely comment to leave.
Tell him.
And then you said, psych, I hate you, kill yourself.
You wog.
Yeah, I wonder if there's people who just have not been sucked in on their phone at all. Is it because they haven't the right content hasn't hit them?
Well, so my partner got rid of social media really early on, doesn't like YouTube, never got into it, but her self-soothing on the phone is scrolling the Daily Mail.
Oh, just news.
And just like she will binge.
Oh, the Daily Mail,
like Daily Mail, like Nine,
like the
UK,
sensationalist.
gossip column kind of thing. She'll just get lost looking into a celebrity and deep diving on a celebrity. And that I look across, I'm like, you are doom scrolling in a way that is like your mind needs this.
Yeah. It's weird. Or it wants
you find a way.
I think the problem that sucks now is the disposableness of all of it. These 30-second stuff that the vast, and I come up against it. This is my problem. I hate that I'm like, I don't need to watch a video of a guy who says, did you know in Super Mario 64, the radius of catching Bowser's tail is this big, so if you go into this space and did it, you will catch him every time. I don't need to know that, and I hate that I watched that video.
Yeah.
But if that's that guy's little creative outlet, and he's having a great time, and he's like, I'm putting it up, oh, cool, I got 1,000 views, I got 20,000 views. Good on him. But I don't need that information, and I hate that it's being served to me.
Why do you hate it?
Because
you've lost control.
Because 10 years ago, that wasn't worth making.
Yeah, yes,
but now everything's worth making just to make content.
Well, yes, I agree with you on one hand, but then also on the other hand, I'm like, oh, it's just that every single person has, well, not every person, not everyone feels compelled to, but a lot of people have something to say about something because everyone likes things, right?
Yeah. Who would have something to say or to broadcast it everywhere?
We're worse because we have nothing to say, yet we've done 133 of these. But everyone will like something. Like, hey, I really like guitar, and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I like guitar a lot. And actually, I like it so much more than 99% of people. I think it'd be kind of cool if I told people about this kind of thing that you can do on the guitar.
Because the thing I run into is like, I don't think there's anything in my life that I feel confident enough and expert in enough to speak authoritatively on.
Yeah.
That's why this show works. I'm like, it's just my opinions. I don't have to have specialist knowledge to do it. It's how I view the world, how I think about things. So I feel comfortable doing that. But it's like every time we dive into science or whatever and you go, I don't know what we're talking about. I find it amazing that the confidence is and I think it's just a different kind of person where they're like, they might not be an expert in a thing, but they're like, yeah, I'll just talk about this thing.
Yeah, but you could do that with games.
But no, because I know there's so many more people who know so much more than me.
But why does that preface you still giving your opinion? Just because there's always going to be someone who knows more.
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be the person who knows the most.
No.
So at what point do you feel qualified to give your opinion? Because
I think if someone asks for it.
Think about you and I discussing games, right?
Yeah. But I'm a direct link and I know what would interest you and what you like. So I can speak to that.
You still fucking bore the shit out of me when you
doing you a favour, mate. Yeah, go, Josh. I'm just going to put on these glasses. I think it's because I just don't. They would find that information elsewhere. I don't think I have anything unique to say in that space. To be like, I could talk about that news story about the thing, but who cares? But I will tell my friends because I found it interesting, and you might find it interesting.
That's a really good point, and that's one of the main points, isn't it? Is that we really don't have that many interesting things to say.
No, we don't.
No.
Terrible.
And I don't blame people who listen to podcasts and just have it on in the background because, it's just a couple of voices, right? It's the same as ASMR.
Yeah.
Put this on to put you to sleep. Do it.
I think, it's just the world of content, quote unquote, content these days.
Yeah.
It's just got me really depressed.
Yeah.
It's just, there's too much all the time. There's infinite amounts of it. I don't know where this ends in terms of data centers. What is the amount of hours of video going online every second? Like, where does this all live? Where are these data centers? How much energy is this shit all using?
Yeah.
Like, even all the AI stuff, like all the energy that uses, like, where are we going?
We're so in the dark with that as well. Like, we don't know. And then storage improves. You know, you can store more on things.
And you talk about the cloud. It's like, the cloud is a data center somewhere physical. It's not a magical thing.
full of server racks.
with your Gmail and your Google Drive stuff on it somewhere.
Oh, it's the worst. You know what? Like, we were talking before about advertising, and I today had a moment of reflection because I got a notification from Gmail, and it was just like a service, right? I can't remember what it was. Just a newsletter came through, and I'm like, what? Why am I seeing this? I didn't subscribe to this. I haven't unsubscribed. But why? Like,
What do you? Is it just a service
this?
you don't have, and that
But
Google's
what
like, hey,
is this?
what do you mean?
What is this service?
Oh, you couldn't work it out.
Not even that. Just why? Why does this exist? Why do I need? Like, it's just more dense content being offered to you in a different way. But they will find every nook and cranny to attack you from. So emails. It's just a personal way. I'm going to write to this person as an email. It's not that anymore. Every notification I get, I'm like, delete. E-commerce purchase, delete.
Yeah.
Delete. Oh, it's coming tomorrow, delete.
Yeah, you got to get your filters right for your email. Because it is such a drag leaving it for a few days, being like, wow, I've got to go through all of this.
Ridiculous that is on our list of things that we need to do is go through our emails.
Why don't we just unsubscribe more? What if you said, send me every fourth email? Don't fully unsubscribe.
It's like your theory that you can fast forward to a third of the way into a YouTube video and still get the content.
That is, if anyone doesn't know this, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a law that any
It's
YouTube...
a law.
Yeah. It's any YouTube video, you can skip to about a third of the way through and you will jump straight to the point of interest and you don't miss anything. And try it out and you will be amazed with all those bits you skip. It just gets you right into the action.
But first, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Surfshark. I think the thing that's getting me the most down at the moment is gambling ads. Because it's so avoidable and because I follow the football, the Australian rules football, and it is so overexposed in every commercial break, every app that you open, there's a gambling ad on the AFL website. And you're like, you are an enormous Australian organisation that is consumed by young men, young women, families, people at early stages of their life. Get your shit together. What are you doing? How is this not the most obvious decision to get rid of gambling ads?
In Australia, because it's so destructive, in Australia in particular. When you see the stats about the number of pokies and stuff we have, you're like, what is going on?
It's like,
so much
great.
of
You make some money, you make tax. Awesome. It's so hypocritical that you, as a politician, can come out and be like, we're going to support the the low income earners and the middle class, and then at the same time be like, and we're also going to tax the shit out of them through the pokies.
Yeah,
Like we're going to make so much money from them in one hand and then try to help them with the other.
It's just fascinating to see the amount of money in these advertisers is they make so much money that their ad campaigns are so massive that you go, wow, you guys will spend any amount of money because you will make it all back.
Yeah.
The way there used to be one or two, now there's like a dozen. And it's like they all just pop up and be like, yeah, it's easy money in Australia. It's crazy.
Yeah, bet with friends now and
you're right though. It's so pervasive that it's like it's exhausting.
It's
like anytime you watch that stuff.
It's just wild that they can do it. That they're in a position that it feels completely unregulated.
And there's too much money in it for the government to make real change because the campaigns that would go against any government that does that and shuts that down, they've got so much money to spend because there's so much money at stake.
Yeah. How great's money? Let's wrap this up.
Let's wrap this up. Thank you so much for listening to the Depression Sessions. Hope you enjoyed it.
That is 34 minutes without a break.
I actually quite enjoyed it. It was a bit cathartic because we're both feeling a bit...
We're smiling.
Yeah.
I feel much lighter.
So this is more for us than you guys, but thanks for listening if you've got this far.
Let us know if you enjoyed it because maybe it's time to introduce, frankly, Mr. Chatley to the world. We can do this as a regular thing.
We could. Yeah.
Frankly, Mr. Chatley.
Please do give us some feedback because we'd love to know. We enjoy making this show for ourselves, but if we can do stuff that you guys enjoy, it really makes it funner for us
absolutely.
as well.
I had a great time, Josh. Thank you.
So did I, mate. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
We got a Patreon. We got socials.
We don't have patches.
Dion's away. Yeah, we don't
Take
have
a break,
patches.
yeah.
My patch is me lying under a weighted blanket for a week not eating.
And my patch is me lying under a weighted blanket for a week and not eating.
Thank you so much for listening. Welcome to Patchwork for another week. I've been Josh.
I've been Christian.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Goodbye.